I can't believe that it's finally here. It's been about 12 months since I started putting down a list of all the places in Australia that you've probably never heard of. I've called it the secret list of places that you probably haven't heard of, because some of them are kind of secret, but some of them aren't too secret, but they're probably places that you might not have ever heard of. So I just launched it, and the craziest part is that I've already got my first sale. This is from someone on my membership, and they got it for 50% off, so like $13.50. It's not really much, but it's something. So it's kind of like, it's not really a mini list because there's 99 places. Well, technically there's 100, but 99 sounds a bit more catchy, I feel. And it's all those places that like I had never heard of before I started traveling Australia. So it's probably not a guide that's for someone that's already done the lap, unless they're curious to see if they've missed anything. But it's more for someone if they're trying to find places that they should go. Because if you're on Wikicamps, yeah, Wikicamps is great, but you need to know what you're looking for. And these are places that you're not going to see on the glossy tourist magazines, obviously, because they're off the beaten track and they're places that you kind of really need to know what to look for. When I first started traveling Australia, I thought, okay, well, I know all the big places that we want to go. Like I've heard of Broome. I hadn't even really heard of Esperance. I didn't really do any research at all because I thought the fun of it was going to the places and then discovering, oh my gosh, which is exactly what happened to me. So there is some fun in this spontaneity, like when you're being when you don't have it all planned out. And I really loved that. My husband had done a lot more research, so we kind of knew where we were going. But I felt like when we were traveling, it was like we would be at one place and then like, all right, well, where are we going next? And I loved that part of it. So all like Uluru, Broome, the Great Barrier Reef, Paranella Park I've put in my list, but that was one of the places that I'd had written down. And Devil's Pool, which was a bit scary. But I'd heard of the stories about that place before. Like they're just like a couple of places. And I'm like, okay, well, I want to go to these places. And I'm like, and I want to go to Bali and I want to go to Darwin. It's so funny the way that we planned it. We're just so lucky that we were able to get in everywhere that we wanted, or most places anyway. And I think that's what happens, when you're not planning things out. It was so magical for me because I'm like, okay, so we're in Warrnambool, where are we going next? And then we're like, okay, York Peninsula. Oh, okay, we'll go there. Oh, here's a nice little camp. Oh, are we going to Innes National Park? Oh, are we going to Cape whatever? Like there's all these places that you're on the way and you're like, oh, if you have a plan, you're kind of stuck to it, particularly if you've got bookings and that kind of thing. For example, there's this place that someone told us about and it's called Etty Bay, and that's like in tropical North Queensland. So it's like above us. And we didn't book. We just rang and checked to see if they had availability, and they did. But I guess if you're ringing a couple of weeks ahead, then you can find out, okay, well, when are they free? And remembering that when you're traveling, you're not traveling on the weekends. Like you're not just going for the weekend. You can usually get bookings during the week. Like Etty Bay is this beautiful beach. It is where the crocodiles are, so you're not really supposed to swim there. But the breeze that comes off the ocean was so lovely. But this is where they have cassowaries that just walk through your camp. Absolutely amazing, and I'd never heard of it before. And then there's this other place that all the locals in Northern Territory, this is like their swimming pool, and it's called Berry Springs. It's just outside of Darwin, and you may have heard of it, but I hadn't heard of it until I got there, but my friends are always swimming there. It's basically this spring in the middle of the bush, like tropical lush bush, crystal water. Sometimes there's crocodiles in there, but they'll trap them and get rid of them. And yeah, it's like cascades of water, and you dive down if you take the snorkel, and you can see like turtles and different types of fish, and it's all just like amongst this rock wall pool and lush green that's growing over the top. And then there's these little pools that you can swim through as well. It's like just so magical. And then you can go to the Berry Springs Tavern quite near there, which is like this outback pub, really good food. They've got like saltwater crocodiles, babies in like tanks. It's really freaky and an experience that if you don't know what to look for. And every time someone says to me, what was your favorite part about traveling Australia? Like where? One was swimming with the whale sharks. Again, we met some people in Perth and they said, yep, we've got this booked in, we've got this booked in, we've got this booked in. I'm like, oh, what are they? And apparently, I didn't know this, but you can go swimming with the whale sharks at a certain time of the year, middle of the year, when they migrate through. And it's one of the most amazing experiences that you probably would want to book in advance. But we were lucky because there's so many different tour operators, and you also want to go on a good day. So it's kind of like a catch-22. If you book in advance and then you get a really bad day weather-wise, it's not as enjoyable. But that was probably one of my most favourite experiences around Australia, was booking a tour. I think it costs like $1,600 for all 4 of us. Extremely expensive, but once in a lifetime, where you get to swim with these huge whale sharks in the middle of the ocean, and you're with guides, so you feel like you're safe. Not only that, but we also saw manta rays. Like, one of them swam underneath and flipped upside down. You get to see the reef out there, because that's the Ningaloo Reef, which is different to the Great Barrier Reef. Like, the Ningaloo Reef is on the western side, and the Great Barrier Reef is like an hour or 2 out off Queensland, which is just out there. So exciting that it's just out there. So these are the places that I really wanted to share, and I thought I'd start with this book, which is, 99 places that are in Australia that you've probably never heard of, and some of them are pretty secret. I've also added this like Google map that goes with it, so you can click on that and that will actually show you the map of where everything is. Not everything is particularly right on the spot, because there's this place called Secret Rock Pool, or it's called Mermaids Pools, and it's not actually on the Google Maps, but I've given the description of where to get to it, like it's in the Bay of Fires. Yeah. And there's another one, like secret pools, but there's also surprise pools in Northern Territory that I hardly ever see anyone go to, that's in Lynchfield National Park. Again, it's one of those places that the locals know about, but it's not on any of the tour things because it's kind of out of the way, but it's somewhere that you should definitely go. Anyway, oh my gosh, I could rattle off for ages. I just feel like I love it when people ask me about places around Australia, because a lot of these places, they're just not on people's lists, and they should be. And you don't need to do the whole 12-month lap to see these. You could just be doing a road trip in a certain area and go, okay, well, here are the 10 places over there that I want to go see. So today was my official launch, and I had one of my members actually purchase it for $13.50. So if you're interested, you can become a member on my Patreon, which is $5.99 a month. It's like a way that you can support my content, but I've also basically dropped all my stuff in there, apart from this first item that you can purchase, but I've given it you 50% off, so I figure that's nice. But I will be dropping every single one of these into my membership, so you'll have access to them all there, but it will take me a while to do that. But this is a PDF, so you can just put it on your phone and you can use it when you're offline as well. The side of Australia that's like free camps, like secret beaches, secret swimming spots. I've even included like a ghost town that, again, I'd never heard of, and I don't think I've seen very many travellers go there. That's called Big Bell. And that was like one of the best experiences. Walga Rock, another place, one of the best experiences going there, and there's like no one else there, not one other person. The launch price is $17, so I will link it. I will link my membership in case you want to join that as well, and you can get 50% off, and that makes it $13.50. It will always be that price for my members, so it won't be, that's not a launch price, that's always the price it's going to be for them. The launch price of $17 is just for maybe a week, and then it will go to the $27, which I think, I did some research, and there's a lady who's selling a waterfall book, and she sells it for $37. The books in Kmart are like $29 to $45. And then sometimes they get discounted, which is why ebooks are so much better, because you've got them on your phone, you have access to them all the time, whereas you're not probably going to carry a book around with you, are you? And then there's another lady who's done a guide for the whole of Victoria, and that's like $59. So yeah, anyway, grab it if you want. But even so, if you don't want to grab it, you can still join my membership, because I will be dropping all of them in there, and that's $5.99 a month. Think of it as, buying me a coffee once a month as a donation, but it really does help support my content and keep me making these videos. Anyway, just want to thank you so much for being here and watching my videos. Even if you don't join any of those, it is totally fine, because the great thing is that just you watching this video helps me. If you decide that you want to help me a little bit more, it's free as well. Just hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and tell me where you're watching this from, and if you have a secret spot around Australia that you want to share. That would be great. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you being here.